DUNIA. Naombea katika nchi ya KYRGYZSTAN Kwakua, nimeona Shambulio. Naombea katika jina la Yesu. Amen.
We begin with breaking news in Kyrgyzstan. The Prime Minister has resigned. Now, this comes straight after the Election Commission annulled the early results of Sunday's vote, and the Speaker of the Parliament has also resigned. Now, this comes after a night of violence where protesters stormed state buildings. Now, they're accusing the government of rigging the election in its favour. The protesters freed former President Almazbek Atambayev and other senior officials from jail. President Sooronbay Jeenbekov has insisted that he is still in control of the country. Well, Charles Stratford is on the line from the capital, Bishkek, to bring us the very latest. Charles, we've now had a dramatic resignation now. What more can you tell us?
Yes, and more news on the back of those resignations. We have heard in the last hour or so that since then, Parliament session was indeed held in that hotel. It had been scheduled to be held earlier in the day, and we've been expecting it to have been delayed until tomorrow. It sounds very much as if the session was hurried through. We know that in order for any votes to be valid, there had to be 61 members of Parliament. That's a majority of one of the 120 members had to be there to make any votes. We understand that only 20 members made it to the hotel. I believe that's because of security concerns. The others, they voted with a letter of an attorney, a letter of attorney. But on the basis of that vote, we now have a new Parliament Speaker and a new Prime Minister in Kyrgyzstan. The Parliament Speaker is a man called Miktebek Abduldayev, who has been a Member of Parliament for 10 years or so. He's widely believed to have been pro-government throughout that period. More interestingly, arguably, is the appointment of a man called Sadir Japarov, who is the new Prime Minister. Now, when we were standing outside the parliamentary buildings this morning, watching the opposition supporters celebrating having taken control of that last night, Chaparov arrived. He had been freed from jail by opposition supporters. He was serving an 11.5-year jail term for kidnapping. They freed him from jail. He was welcomed with jubilation. There was big celebrations outside the Parliament building. We understand, according to sources who saw this parliamentary session, that Chaparov actually threatened members of Parliament by saying that if they didn't make him or vote him as the new Prime Minister, then he had thousands of supporters that would come to support him and possibly cause trouble. So it's another indication to show just how chaotic the last 48 hours have been. And of course, it draws in more questions of the legitimacy of any kind of leadership in this country going forward after these elections. There's enough distrust anyway with a Parliament following these elections that have now been annulled. And now it seems as if members of Parliament, indeed the Prime Minister, this man Japarov, who has a criminal record, or indeed was serving a jail term, is now being given a very powerful position in this country. So again, it throws great doubt, great questions over the future stability or the stability of Kyrgyzstan tonight and in the days ahead.
It certainly is a very fast-moving situation there. Charles Stratford, for now, thank you very much indeed for bringing us the latest on the political turmoil in Kyrgyzstan.